Hi, morning. Welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. And I usually come on Thursday afternoons, but due to a variety of things, I'm on this morning. I know it's bright and early. I'm not usually a morning person, so we'll see how this goes. I do have my cup of coffee to try to help me get it through. But we are going to make two super cute cards today using the Cactus Cutie set. So let's get started. And let me turn you guys down. Hope everyone had a great week. I can't believe it's already Friday. Yay! I'm really excited. I've got some stuff going on this weekend. Very excited. Put that down. Yay! Okay, wait down. I'm also trying to make sure my phone is on, so I need to make sure I get the sound off and everything ready to check so I can be much better if anybody is on and wants to chat. I am not really great at trying to do the messages while I'm on. I use a ManyCam as my oh, here we go. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You guys hear me? There is a delay on this, but also I just want to make sure that I can see the messages when they come up, or your comments, because I use ManyCam, and I haven't figured out how to see the comments while I'm doing it, so it's really terrible. But if I miss your comment, know that I will go on after my presentation and after I'm done with the cards, and definitely get to your questions. So, hi, yay! So I love this set. This is actually the Cactus Cuties is a bundle, a punch bundle from the January to June mini catalog. So if you go to page, I think it's 60 in the January to June mini catalog. No, 66. You can find it. And when you purchase the stamp set and the punch at the same time, you do save 10%, which is really excited. All that, every little bit counts. But I love this. I am in Arizona, so definitely Southwest. So we have cactus here. Um, so I always like the cactus sets. And if you really love cactus, they have some designer series paper on the sales in on my online store under the clearance rack. That is really great. That's beautiful paper. It's got the clips of coral in it. It's so pretty. But we're going to be playing with this set. And I've just made some really quick, easy, fun cards with this set. One of them I used the punch bundle with, or the punch, the cactus punch with it. The other one I use, I just fussy cutted the pot out. So it's a really kind of fun. It's got the just a note, hope your day is on point, and the hello. So I would say, I know I made these irregular size cards, but this is a perfect set for to make note cards with. I love it. And I do love the samples that they gave in here, the different size cards. I love different size cards. So that's awesome. So if you don't know, we're still going to Celebration right now until the 28th, which is, I guess, Monday. So there's only a few more days left. So you've got the weekend to still get some of these fabulous products. I love, love, love everything in this celebration. If you've been on, you've seen, I've added quite a few projects. I did a really fun one with an otter and the Simply Marvelous Designer Series paper. So for today, with this celebration, we are actually going to be using that Simple Marvelous paper, but also the Sunshine and Rainbows. And that's actually where this beautiful Granny Apple Green Designer Series paper is from, this free Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper pack comes from. And you can earn this with the $50 qualifying order in my online store, as well as the Simply Marvelous, which is one I used on this card. It is also free with a $50 qualifying order. So if you spend $100, you can get both, which is exciting on the corner frame. So that's before shipping and tax. And I love Celebration. Like I said, there's only till the 28th. There's also a cute, like the otter set. I think the otter card was the last one I did. So cute. That's otters. So we're going to use the the Cactus Cuties. And like I said, I made 2 regular size cards instead of doing the note cards. I almost went with the note cards, but I just really wanted to show off this gorgeous paper while I still had a chance. Okay, so let's make this card first. And this, for this card, we are going to need a piece of soft seafoam, and this is cut at the 4 1/4, and it's by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So that's the regular. Now, and of course, if you like the book fold and not this top fold, you could always cut it the regular 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, because my card fronts fit regardless. And then I did cut one of this beautiful Sunshine and Rainbows designer series paper. You can see there's the rainbows on the back. It's so pretty. At the 4 and 5 1/4, and we're 5 1/4, and it's just going to be that's my basic layer that I put. I love that. It's my favorite layer. And of course I have, because I don't like my cards to be naked, I do have some. I know I put it in here. Here's one of them. Here, I'm gonna need that piece. Here it is. 2 strips of that designer series paper, and I cut this at 1/2 inch by 4, and that's going to go on the back of my card and on the inside layer. And my inside layer is a basic white at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I really like that. You can do the same 5 1/4 by 4, but just that little bit down I find works better, so you don't have it really feels the space a little bit better. And so for this I use a basic white, and I use my my stitched rectangles on this card. I use the stitched rectangles, and that's a great set of dies if you don't have those yet. I do really like them, and the stitched rectangles is a great set. You can see I have lots, and I used this is the third biggest is the one that I used. I will have all the measurements of this and stuff up on my blog later, but these are a great set if you like that stitch look and you like to use rectangles. These are a great set of dies. It's one of those you must have in your stash that you use all the time. So like I said, I just did that out of the basic white. And then I just need some scrap. I'm going to use some scrap to make my little pots here, and the little, I'm going to actually cut those super cute little, I guess that would be prickly pear. And if you can tell, when I cut them down, I'm going to stamp them first and then punch them out. I think when I first did it, I was actually punching them out and then stamping on them, and I was having a terrible time. But I'm just going to punch them first. And it is bigger. So what I really liked with this is when I used my punch, it actually cut the prickly pear down a little bit smaller, and I thought it just fit my scene a little bit better. So keep that in mind. This is a little bit smaller. The punch is a little bit smaller than this size here. So, okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to create our really pretty scene, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. And then I'm actually going to stamp the pot and the super cute foliage, and I'm going to do the double stamping. So let's go ahead and get out our stamps. Now, one of the things that's on clearance right now, if you don't have one, we have these fabulous Stampin' Pierce mats, and they're a little thick, and they're only like $5. But right now, on the clearance rack, we have the little mats that go for the they're actually made for our Stamparatus to help with to get the cushioning right for the Stamparatus. They're like $1.80 here in the United States. If you don't have something to do underneath your photopolymer, I would say in your next order, pop one of these in while we still have them, because they are fabulous. And you of course can wrap this in grid paper or printer paper, and so you can stamp off. But it is a little bit more of a cushion. It's thinner than our Stampin' Pierce mat, which you really need if you're going to do any kind of piercing stuff. You need something that thick. But for just the photopolymer, I really love this. It's a nice size at 6x6, and of course you can use it in your stamp apparatus too, which is nice. But at $1.80, who can go wrong, right? Like, I love that. So I'm going to use that underneath this today. And then even though I do have some other cushion, I do have my mat up on this. And then I need this one right here, which is the foliage. And then they also have the little stamp, but I actually use the designer series paper and just cut out, again, this is at the same Sunshine and Rainbows, and I'm just going to punch it out to make these cute little three little flowers that are on here. So it's super cute. And then we need our You Hope Your Day is on Point. Now I also added, for the inside, I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday. It doesn't quite match. So one of the one thing about this is it is a very distinctive kind of font. But I thought the Happy Birthday that was kind of fat that's in the Nuts About You, which is the squirrel set that carried over. That Happy Birthday is, it doesn't exactly match, but it matches well enough, I thought. So, oops, I think I'm going to use that. I just dropped my block. Sorry about that. And I'm going to have a cup of my coffee. You guys coffee drinkers? So I'm a straight up Folgers girl, but I love the Italian creamer from Safeway, which is love it. It's so yummy. It is. That's the one thing that we've been having trouble is getting our creamer in, but coffee is a important part of my household, my morning routine. So I'm going to use my Memento black ink, and then, like I said, I'm just going to stamp it on the top first of my rectangle. Stitch rectangle in basic white. And okay, so I've got it kind of high there. I think I might want to get it just a tiny bit lower. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? It just stamps so pretty. So I have to say I love this stamp set. It does stamp gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right, so let's move this out of the way. And then I'm going to stamp with my pot. Now I use the pot here in soft suede for this pot. Now I do want to say, keep in mind that when you are stamping on these, make sure your stamp's nice and clean. I'm using my chamois. Because it is a really wide stamp. So I would always, because it's like the full, you want to make sure you get it well inked. And I would test it once, especially if you make sure your surface is clean so you don't pick up little pieces, just so you know that it's going to stamp the way you want it to. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful before you stamp. And then if you have trouble when you get these stamps, your photopolymer stamps, make sure you can you can either make sure you clean them, and I just do it on the chamois, or use the spritz with your scrubber, or use, you can also stamp it in Versamark first too, to helps seal your photopolymer. But I always find that I always want to make sure, because it's such a large area, even though I guess it's not that large, but it is a little bit large, so I always want to make sure so I don't get like the funny colors. Especially if you've inked your pad recently and it's like uneven, you'll pick up the colors. But so that one worked out good. And then this is the Granny Apple Green, which is nice and bright. So I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. And I know I used the soft sea foam as the back, but that's really a great, soft sea foam almost matches when you do the second generation. So I'm going to go ahead, stamp that up nice. You see that on there. And just line it up as much as I can at the bottom. That one I'm just going to go straight. And then I'm just going to turn it slightly. Do the second. I'm going to ink it up again. Then I'm going to stamp it off. And it looks like I picked up something, so I'll make sure I get that nice and clean. I want to transfer stuff, especially with these bigger stamps. Go. Look at that! So isn't that pretty? It looks so nice. Let me see if I can make it a little bit more. There we go. Just need to make sure I'm on. You guys can see it. So stamp the pot, and then I've stamped my floral images with the double stamping. So it's like I've used 2 different shades, but it's still just the one shade of the Granny Apple Green, which is really pretty. And then I'm going to take my fun, oh, there, my daughter's there. Hi. Hi, Natalie. Thank you. She says my sound is good. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in. Now, keep in mind when you are doing your punching, you don't want to waste too much. So I've actually just cut a strip so that it will fit in here without having to waste, like, and make a bunch of little extra. And I'm just going to oops. My hands are not, oh my gosh, yesterday my hand, it's been a year since I broke this wrist, and oh my gosh, yesterday it was hurting me so bad. Go, did not get it together to go on. I don't even know what I did. Usually I know what I did that makes my wrist hurt, but I didn't yesterday. So that way I don't use it when you cut it, and I think this is what, maybe I cut this at, this is maybe a 1/2 inch. Yeah, a 1/2 inch strip of that. And that worked really well to get it under here without having to waste a bunch of paper, which I hate to waste any of the paper. But oh my gosh, so it's still a little swollen, but it's not too bad. I don't even know what I've done to make it so bad. And then I'm going to use glue dots to add them to here. And then for the other cactus, I just paper pierced it. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. We're going to add that with Stampin' Dimensionals and glue dots. The other cactus, that prickly pear. Just add these on however you like. Kind of nice bright pink on this really nice Granny Apple Green, which is a nice bright green. So it's fun, and you don't have to worry about trying to get the colors to be all exactly how really is. Cactuses look. Because you can get the cactus here. I don't know if you can get them there. You can, like in the hardware stores where they're like really bright colors. I don't know if they dye them. I'm not sure. Anyway, so there we go. We've got that. That's our first pot done. Pretty. And then the second one, what we're going to do. Now this is really interesting because I'm going to use the gray granite, and I am going to stamp the pot. And again, it's not going to I'm going to cut it with this, but it isn't for that shape. So then I'm going to use my paper snips to make it the right shape. But I want it to be smaller than this pot. So I don't want to just cut it, stamp this one and cut it. I want it to be smaller. So I'm actually going to use my punch because it does give me some really nice edges to it. Use the granite. Set that up here. Make sure I get a nice image. Gray granite, which I never use. I don't use the gray granite as much as I should. But I do like it. It's a great color. Go. Definitely looks good with this, the cactus, and it looks really nice next to the suede. So, okay, so see, it's kind of this shaped here. So I actually am going to use it up here at the top, but it's going to be too long. Or did I do it the wrong way? Oh my goodness, I totally did. Yep. So I needed to put it here. I didn't put it down. Let me stamp it again. So that's one of the things with the punches. You do need to be aware of where your how it's going to fit into your punch. I knew it needed to be on one side. I couldn't remember which one. Okay. So that you can punch it out the direct way. It didn't matter as much with this one because I wasn't trying to get a specific image. There we go. So see how it fits the bottom and the top, right? But then the edges are the white. I'm going to cut that down this way, getting it that size. Just like that. So you can see it doesn't exactly match that, but it does do the shape of the top and the bottom which is really easy, and then I can just use my paper snips to snip off the edges really easily. And now I have the smaller size bowl that I want to go right there. It's actually quite easy to do. But I do like the smaller size. I actually tried it to doing it the bigger size, and I really didn't like it at all. At all, I didn't like it. It was just too big. Okay, so I'm just going to use a Stampin' Dimensional, and make sure I'm only putting one. Make sure you don't put it like super to the top, because we're going to tuck that down just a little bit. But then just put that where you want that to go. Oops, I need it to be in line, sort of, just like that. It looks good just like that without putting anything else in it. But okay, and then we're going to cut our these things. So this one you need to cut. You want it to be almost upside down. So I'm just going to do them here, and I am going to use the Granny Apple Green, but I'm going to use it in both shades. So I'm going to do one that's stamped off and then one that's really nice and inked. So I am going to do it upside down. Oops, this is the wrong one. I'm like, that's not the right shape. This is one of the other. We're going to use this one right here. I grabbed the wrong one. Because it's the right, it looks like it's the right size. Oops, I got that. Then I dropped that right in the ink. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there is like a top and a bottom, so I'm doing it upside down. And then giving it a little bit of space in between. Just like that. Now let's see if I did it right. Okay. There we go. So I can just snip that one out. So I had snipped these out before. I did the, I cut the top of it. You have to be careful to do it. Thought I had it down quick, close enough, but I didn't. So do another one. I was actually had, oh man. I was having a terrible time with these. There we go. So I actually punched out the white and then was stamping, and then I couldn't. I was missing it. Like it was really. Yesterday was probably better that I didn't go live, because I was making all kinds of mistakes. My hand was hurting. It was just not awesome. Okay, there you go. You can see that. I got that in there. Yay! Some days things just don't work. And oh my gosh, my poor husband. So they did, I guess it's been like 3 weeks now, maybe 2 weeks. He got the dishwasher, and they like fixed the whole They got in like a whole new motor and fixed it. It was fabulous. It ran like a dream. Well, yesterday it stopped working like a dream. And it's one of the pieces that isn't working is actually a part of that big thing that he just got and reinstalled. Oh, my poor kids. We have to pull out all the dishes and wash them by hand. It's always terrible. So I'm just going to use for this one, I'm going to use a glue dot, and you kind of just stick it where you want it to go. I have it kind of overlapping right here a little bit. And then the second one is, I'm going to put the glue dot a little bit low as I can on the page here, on the page, on the little cactus piece right here, because I'm going to tuck the other thing on top. So I'm actually going to tuck this under. I pull it, and it's going to be a little bit away from that edge, just like that. You can almost see it. There we go. There you can see it. And then this one, I'm actually going to use a Stampin' Dimensional. So it's going to give it a little bit more poof, but I'm going to tuck it underneath this one. So This is tucked underneath the pot. The first one's tucked under the pot. The second one is tucked under the first one. And then this one is going to be tucked, even though I've used a Stamp It Dimensional, I'm actually going to just tuck it under a little bit, just like that. Is that cute? I love. And then I want to add some Wink of Stella, because I love Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to add some to the flowers here. And then I'm going to add it to the little points. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen, we have a couple of different varieties of prickly pear. Some that have like these really super long, spiny thorns. We have some that have like regular thorns. The ones I grew up with, we had were just like regular spinies. But then there's some that don't have any. But the javelina love prickly pear. And we do make a prickly pear jelly. It has like a little red fruit on it. It's really tasty. But here in the Southwest we do have prickly pears. But super cute! So I wanted to definitely give it a little bit of sparkle because I wasn't adding extra gems to this one. Okay, so then we can just build our card front. So we're just going to use some glue. And some glue to glue our designer series paper down. Just like that. I'm going to miss this designer series paper because look how pretty it is with this, and there's no rainbows. It is such a bright and cheery pack of paper. I just love it so much. They were all really great. The Daffodil Afternoon actually really grew on me too. I love those ones I made last week. And then I just glued this one down because these are ones I would send in the mail. So I didn't want it to be too, you can always put this up on dimensionals on here, but I didn't want it to be too poofy because then it's harder to mail, as my cactus did poke out. Goes. That lovely? Love. So nice. And it's super simple and super cute, right? Isn't that lovely? Love it. Okay, so we do need to do our back. Like I said, I don't like it to be naked on the back. So we're going to use that strip of lovely Granny Apple Green. And luckily when I cut up that 6x6, I have quite a few of that left over. It doesn't have to be the 1.5 by 4 is a great length, but if you have any scraps, add them on. You can always add them vertical too, if that's the way it works. And then I said I'm going to have the happy birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the top here. My Memento Black. And I am going to add my little Stampin' Up! Logo. I just love adding my Stampin' Up! Logo. Makes it look so official. Isn't that cute? Oh, love it. Now I should get one that's got Christie's stamping spot on it. And I might do that. And then still keep the Stampin' Up! But then have one that's mine. I haven't thought about that yet. The longest time I always ever, just, if I'm going to add extra, I usually use the image or I just love adding the elements instead of having the same similar. But we'll see. I might change my mind about that and get one. And then, of course, like I said, my standard 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 basic white insert. And I really love adding the inserts. I mean, with the Saucy Foam, you don't really need to. You could have just added that. But I really like adding the basic white inserts to write your message. I think that it makes it look more finished. And it does give the card a little bit more stability, especially if they're going to be standing it up and displaying your card. You work so hard on that card. They're always so pretty. Give it a little bit of more stability. It's only one little piece of cardstock. I think it really does add quite a bit to doing that. And again, it gives it a nice border. And like I said, I use the 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 because it does eliminate some of the space. You don't feel like you have a lot you have to write, but it still looks really pretty and finished. So, and then if I use like the basic white for my card, I actually want to always use the thick. So if you're going to make a white card, I've really started. I used to just only use white, and then I went to using the colored cardstock because I just love the way the border looks. Um, but using the thick whisper white, or thick basic white really gives it more stability, and that's why you would use the thick white, because it does give it more. And I do actually would recommend using adding that extra layer even when you're using white, because you want it to stand up nice and pretty. So there you go. That is our first card. Hope your day is on point. Happy birthday. So it matches. I just love bringing that through. And that is that soft seafoam. I don't think I use that soft seafoam enough, but I really do like it. It's very pretty. Okay, so that's our first card. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. We can get started on our second card. So our second card, we're going to use Just Jade, which I just love. And it is one of our retiring colors. So if this is one of those colors that you are going to love, that you want to use all the time, you can definitely get a refill and get a couple extra packs of the paper, because in the next catalog, this is the one that's going to be one of the colors with Cinnamon Cider and Misty Moonlight. Oh, wait, no. Yes. For a minute there, I had that moment of, wait, am I telling you the wrong thing? I'm looking over here at my stacks where I have my inks. But it is, with the Misty Moonlight and Bumblebee and Cinnamon Cider, the Just Jade is actually retiring this year. So I'm so sad. It's so exciting to get the new ink colors and the new catalog, but it's always also, it's got that bittersweet, because some of them go away, which is sad. Sad. But anyway, so you can tell it's a very different, so we can do a bright card with that set, or this one's a little bit more subdued. I love the Just Jade, and it almost looks like a saguaro. I think it's actually more of a barrel cactus. I know I'm from the Southwest, so I should know the names of the cactus, but I totally don't at all. So I used, for this one, I don't use the punch. This punch is actually, I think, it really is made to make the saguaro. So this fits this right here, which makes the big piece. So our not our saguaro, our prickly pear. So the prickly pears are like, they have these, they're like little panels, and they kind of go out. So I'm sure you've seen that. So that was for that one, and this one goes for that. And then this is for this bowl pot, I think, right here is what this one is. And then the flower. But if you can tell, these are all a little bit smaller than these images. And I really like I said, I really did like the smaller. I thought it looked really good on there. But for this one, we're not going to use the punch. We are going to use the Just Jade. So let me get all our pieces out. And instead of using the stitched rectangles, I used my Stitch So Sweetly, which I think is probably my most favorite. It's got to be my most favorite. I think I use it the most. I should go on one time and see when I've demonstrated if it's actually the one that I use the most. And I'm also using some of that gorgeous Simply Marvelous paper, and I'm going to use the marble side. This is that water side. I used the water side for this one. I used that super cute otter card that I made the other day. Oh, I love it. And again, I'm just going to use, this is a Just Jade, and this one is actually the book fold, which is the 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, which is actually, it's half a piece. So when you have your 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, I just cut it, right? You cut it at the 5.5, and that gives you 2. So you can make 2 of these book fold card bases with 1 sheet of cardstock. And then I use my bone folder and get that nice and creased. And then I'm just going to put that on there. My layer, which is again the 5 1/4 by 4 by 5 1/4, which is my basic. And then I did use the Stitch So Sweetly. So I use it so much. I love it. I actually have less trouble getting these out than I do even with my stitch rectangles. I really like the scalloped. So it's a really nice set of stitched scalloped rectangles, as well as these fabulous. I love how these mount for labels. So for sentiments, I use that a lot. But because that is like, it's a basic, you can use like one of these and this is a great set of Label dies, if you're going to make simple, quick cards, these are ones you can have, like, make a bunch up and have them because they're always, you can always have a basic white one of these. You always need one. And then again, because I don't like it to be naked on the back or in the middle, I always cut that, and this is the 1/2 inch by 4, right? That same designer series paper. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually going to stamp it and stamp it again. So I need a bigger piece of designer series paper. And then, of course, I have my insert, just the 5 and an 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then we are going to use some of the linen thread, which I love, to add just a little bit of extra. And then we're going to use the blending pens on the iridescent rhinestones, which I was sad to see they're already unorderable, but we should be getting those back. Hopefully they won't be too long. Okay, so this one, of course, is, we're going to use the Just the Note. So we aren't going to be needing this set, and I'm actually going to stamp it on a separate set of paper and then cut it out so it pops up just a little bit more. We don't need just the point. So when you're using your photopolymer, it's always best to put them back as quick as you can. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever actually lost one of the red rubber stamps before, but I have lost several of these, sadly. I know, right? And the other one, I found it again. I cleaned out my paper and I found it. I was very excited. The Happy Haunting that's on that. Oh, what is that one called? I love the Happy Haunting too. It's one that we have a bunch of. I had just rebought it, so now I have 2 of them. But and the Thank You from the Pansies, I think, is one of the other ones I lost. I was like heartbroken. It's always the stamp that you use the most that you lose, and I find that it's the photopolymer ones. I always like to put them back. I really do like that these are here, and then I use the heavier sheet to put on top. I actually haven't figured out if I want to throw that one away or yet or not. But if you put them away, let me take it out again. If you don't put them away right away, I find I have a better chance of losing them. I don't want to lose them. Don't want to lose them. Okay, so we know that we want to put our Just the Note at the top, but we're going to put this one as this pot I put on the center, or off to the side. This one we're going to actually put on the center, just a little bit up, because this is tall, so just keep that in mind when you're doing your stamping. Okay, so again, I've got it. We are using photopolymer, so I'm going to use this super cute $1.80. $1.80, I'm just telling you. It's so great. And my, I don't know if you can see, probably can't see, I have a line, I don't know how I got that, on my early espresso. It looks like it's a nice line, but I need to make sure I not put my stamp in it. I need to put more ink on there and use the back of a spoon and fix it. I don't know when I re-inked it, I did something. I don't know. But I have a line actually on my ink pad, which is still fine. It works fabulous. I just need to make sure not to put my ink on that line, because then you will see it when you stamp, especially with one of these really big stamps. There we go. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think I got my ink that great. I don't like the way that looks at all. Now, I could just go over top of it. I'll try it, but I have another one set just in case. Did not get that as inked as I should have. Let's see if I can do it. Might be able to hold my, if you have problems using, it's always best to use your Stamparatus. I have another one I already cut just in case I messed it up. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. It inked better the second time. And clean this off. Make sure I don't got any goobers on there. Let's get that nice and inked. Didn't have any problems with the first pot. Okay. And there we go. Make sure you let it set for 1 second. To actually. Oh yeah, that's way better. Yay! Just can't be quick. So I'll actually not throw that away. I will save it. Now I could have just done it because it doesn't matter, because I'm going to stamp the second one on top of it, which I probably should have just done. I'll show you what it looks like. Because we're going to stamp a second one on another sheet of paper. On another piece of basic white. And I'm going to fussy cut this one out to go over top. Ooh, I don't like the way that one looked. Look, I got something on there. I'm having trouble with that today. Man, this pot. So I have a terrible time with these. Well, not a terrible time, but I just have to be more careful with these super bold. There we go. That's beautiful. Making sure you get it nice and clean. You don't pick up the little pieces of paper or fabrics. If you use baby wipes to clean your stamps, especially, you can pick up little fibers, and you don't want those fibers to be transferred over to your ink pad. So then they make little, might not have these fabulous pieces. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out with my fussy cut. It's a little bit more of a more fussy cut than I did on the other. That one I just had to cut off the edges. And of course you can, because there's this white space in the middle, I'm definitely going to keep my border, a white border around it a little bit to kind of match that. So keep that in mind when you're fussy cutting. Go. So I'm actually going to do that. So I don't even know why I was so conscious about that. It would have been fine. I should have just left it. Because I'm going to put this on top of it and you won't be able to see it. Although I did it the second time and it went over. So silly. So silly. I don't know why I did that. Okay. So we're going to put Stampin' Dimensionals, and it's just going to go right on top of there. So, but first we need to stamp our cactus. And I'm using the Just Jade. Again, make sure your stamp is clean. Get it nice and inked well. You don't have any, this looks like it has like little, oh, it looks good. Make sure you've got it nice and clean. You haven't picked up anything funny. Okay. Then I'm just going to stamp it. And you want to get it close to the pot. It doesn't matter if you go, if you overlap it, because we're going to cover it with the other pot. Just give it a second. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Awesome sauce. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. No. Oh my gosh, my hand. Okay, so our pot. So we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals for my pot. And I'm going to put the pot, the dimensionals down, not super close to the top, because I'm going to wrap it with the linen thread. But I found it was easier to wrap with the linen thread after I had set it down. I'm just going to attach that pot onto there. And then I'm going to take my linen thread, find my end. There we go. It came unspooled. And I'm just going to like tuck it down here like this and wrap it around. I want it to go down that low. I want it to be at the top. Like that. And then I'm going to tie it into a bow. Now, I'm going to do it on camera. To the side. There we go. So then I'll take my snips. And make it smaller. And then it isn't, since I haven't used any adhesive, you can always slide your bow over if you want it, or put it in the middle if you want it, however you want wherever you want your bow to go. Just cut cut off the extra. Is that cute? Oh, love it. Actually, I think I need to do a little bit more of this tail off. There we go. How cute is that? Love it, love it, love it. Just gives it a little bit of extra. Okay, and then we want to stamp our, and I'm just going to fussy cut out this sentiment. So if you are, you can make it, cut it really small, or you just use your, I find it easier for me to just fussy cut, but you can, I will have the measurement about what it should be if you were going to cut your cardstock first and then just stamp it. I find I'll get it close to the bottom of my paper. Pretty. Looks so good. And then I will just use my paper snips to cut it. It's so funny is we haven't have any moisture. My hair is like no curl at all. But look at that black just came right back. I had a terrible time with the black yesterday. Getting it everywhere. Just be careful that it's dry before you put your fingers in it. If you are going to fussy cut. Just like that. Yay! And then I actually, you can use, yeah, let's just use some standard dimensionals on there. I'm going to use 3. Make sure they don't show. Yep. Awesome sauce. So. These little, I get those things everywhere. Look, I picked up a bunch of little pieces, and it's from the die cut. Just need to unstatic it or something. I don't know. Get that even. Hold my tongue just right. There we go. Awesome! That pretty? Love it! Now we gotta have some sparkle, right? We definitely want some sparkle. So I use my iridescent gems. So hopefully you guys have some of these. But you can use rhinestones. And what I did was, I'm going to use these little ones. I'm just going to use my Just Jade, the Dark Just Jade Stampin' Blend. This is one that I've had for a while, so I've broken the tip. I might order myself a new one. And I'm just going to add the Just Jade ink to my iridescent rhinestones, these small ones. How many do I have on there? Like 5? Yeah, 5. 1, 2. And the reason why you use your Stampin' Blend instead of your Stampin' Write marker is because the alcohol marker dries, and it's like Sharpie, right? It stays on much better to your rhinestones, to your embellishments. You can also use it to color, your ribbons, your linen. Take a pick tool, which I love, and then I'm just going to add them on here. So it still keeps that. It doesn't like color too much because it is faceted, but it does enough that I think it adds that the green, the just drink, but it still has some of that other color on there, which makes it lovely. I do really like it. There we go. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's so sparkly. So I really do love these. So I can't wait till they come back in stock. You can also use rhinestones, which also works really nice too. It's so pretty. So pretty! Okay, so now let's build our card front. And we need some glue. I put this really pretty Marvelous on here. This is like really great paper. Did do several, as you can see it looks like water. Did do several with the otters because that's what it looks like. But I love the marble too. This side. I think I actually used this side of the designer series paper more than the watery one. But we had so many great, like, beach, water sets that this paper will, like, work so good for. So many gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous ones. Okay, and then let's add this card to add our stitched so sweetly scalloped rectangle to the card front. I'm just going to put that in the middle. Some glue. That pretty? How that's all going. Maybe. Nope, I lost it. Facebook doesn't love me. Every time I try to do that there. Let's see if I can see it here. See if anybody, my daughter is up this morning. It says hello. Look, and it doesn't even show that thing. So, yep, there's Natalie. Yay! So check, make sure. Have a drink of my coffee. Although I get my husband up, he leaves really early. So I've had multiple cups. This is like my third cup this morning. Isn't that pretty? Oh, love it! Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? You like that? Isn't that gorgeous? I love that little bit of sparkle. And then just adding a little bit with the linen thread bow. It's super cute. Okay, so then we got to add our inside. And because it's just a note, I didn't add another sentiment. You can add just the note on the inside if you want. Or, say hello. There's a hello stamp that's in this that you can actually add to the little hello. You can always stamp that. But I'm just going to leave that blank until I know if I know what I'm going to use this for. I'm going to add a little strip. Definitely keep all your little extra pieces and use them. I love it. So pretty. And then add it inside my... If you were going to stamp and you know what you want to do, it's always better to stamp before you put it into your card, just in case you make a mistake, because then you can just get it, you're just out a piece of cardstock, right? That's the other awesome thing. You can actually even write your message before you glue it in. If you're like me and are a terrible speller, I sometimes do that because I have messed up before. And so I'll actually stamp my sentiment and then write my thing and then add this at the bottom before I put it in, because I wouldn't even have to waste that. I've just got one piece of cardstock is all I've used. That way I haven't misspelled anything or like paused too much and I'm all gloopy. Like, oh, it's terrible. Let's see, what did I do with my other strip? I did see it out, so it's probably here somewhere. I've probably knocked it to the floor. I don't see it around myself. So, let's see, it's not here. That's the only problem. You're doing stamping, as you always lose something. It doesn't matter how efficient you are. It seems like you always feel like you've lost something when you're doing this. Always, always. Not sure why that is. Usually you're looking for your scissors. Oh, here. It was on the back of my gems. I always find it. If I give up too soon, then I'll cut another piece and then I find it. Because that's how that works always. So anyway, I've added it to the back. And I'm super messy. I don't know if you're a messy stamper, but I am a very messy crafter. Always a ton of things. Everywhere. Everywhere. I have a big trash can right here underneath. But I don't throw it away. Like, I go through it before I throw it away because I have accidentally dropped things in there before. And that would breaks my heart. I don't want to lose anything. Okay, so again, I am going to stamp just a note on the back to bring that theme through instead of, I did not, since I don't have anything in the inside. Nice and clean. And then my Stampin' Up! Logo. And this is from the hand stamped for you, so it is in the main catalog. You can get it, and that it makes it adhere to our angel policy, which means you can sell your cards with permission with the imaging for the copyright, which is pretty awesome. Love, love, love. Make it so easy. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it did. It's so cute. So this is a fabulous set. And it's not usually, like, I don't use a lot of these, like, really wide images because I always have always trouble. I think I'm a little bit too quick and I also love to color, and there's not much to color because the stamping does all of the work for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Thursday's double feature on Friday morning. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm really excited. I'm going to see some ladies and we're going to stamp this weekend. I'm very excited. I hope you guys get some crafting in. Thank you guys so much for joining me this early in the morning for my Thursday double feature on Friday morning. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and happy crafting. Bye.